How does bhakti bridge the gap then between the formless and the form based worship?
Yes, that's a very good question. See, bhakti is not it's not single dimensional. It is not just what I'm saying. In bhakti, also you have various levels. So, for example, uh, you have initially. So this is a pedagogy also in Indian system of understanding the reality. You start by worshipping an idol. Now that idol is not just an idol. There are a lot of ways of looking at it. Firstly, that idol is a encoding done by our rishis. So maybe our rishis were aware that someday, something like invasion can happen in India. So the highest wisdom should be spread amongst the general public in the form of folk dance, folklores, folk music, so on and so forth. So that even if you burn the text, even if you tear away the text, the wise ones can, go between the public and take out those symbols and decode them again. So these are not just idols, but they are tantra and yantra in three-dimension form, right? And so for a normal person, it looks like an idol, but for a scientist, it may have a deeper meaning. For a sannyasi, it may have a deeper meaning. Initially, a child is supposed to concentrate on a certain form. Let's say Mahadeva. Now Mahadeva has a huge philosophy. That idol has a huge philosophy. Initially the child may not understand, but as he grows he will understand. Why is he blue? Well, he's blue because the last color that our eye can see is blue, so the sky has no color of its own, right? But you can see blue because scientifically the last color that your eye can see is blue. And therefore when you see Krishna or you see Ram or you see Shiva, they are depicted as blue. And a lot of people would say, oh no, because he had halahal. No, that is not the reason. The reason is because it has a great science within. Then again, he sees that Mahadev is holding a trishul. So inquisitive child will go to his mother, run to his mother, that does Mahadev, kill all animals? Should I also kill animals? And then mother will tell him, no. Those three tridents, what are they? They depict past, present, and future. The only one who can, get you rid of the compartments of past, present, and future is Mahadev, because he's Mahakal. And then she will say that it is not just this. The three types of sufferings that you have in this cosmos, Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik, they are represented in the form of that trident. And then he will ask, okay, mother, but what is this trident then? Sorry, what is this tripunda then? So she will say, we have sattva, we have rajas, and we have tamas. And it is because of the dance and sattva, rajas, and tamas that the entire cosmos comes into its manifested form. But who is Mahadev? He is Trigunatmak. He is the one who, in whom all these three guns, they lose their potency. And then he will ask, mother, but what is the meaning of this third eye? Oh, this third eye, let me tell you a story about it. So, these two eyes can only see material things, but this eye has the potency of not just seeing everything through the eyes of wisdom, which means everything that you see in the cosmos is momentary. And even while it is momentary, it is changing its form. So, as I speak to Shruti doctor, the moment I got connected to her, from that time till this time, she has changed. So, the dance of Shiva has changed her completely from that time till this time. There are many atoms in her body which have died, and there are many atoms which have been produced. So, So mother will tell all of this, and so then he will realize, oh, I was not just worshipping an idol, I was worshipping an entire philosophy. And now when he goes back to the idol, the way he sees it will completely change his outlook towards the entire cosmos, because now that idol has the entire cosmic beings in it, and the entire cosmic beings that you have in the cosmos have that idol in it, or that concept.